Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to World's Best. Actually, probably world's worst RWBY tier list you guys will ever see in your entire life. I recently completed the series, and I thought it was pretty cool. And with the whole Rooster Teeth shutting down, I thought I would make a tier list. The tier list has nothing to do with the whole Rooster Teeth shutting down. But oh well, I thought it was a fun idea nonetheless. So we are gonna rank all the volumes from Volume 1 to Volume 9. The tiers are kinda cringe though, let me fix that up real quick. As you can see, I rearranged the orders, they're now a bit better. We have Goated at the top and Can't Admit at the bottom. We'll start up with, of course, Volume 1. Volume 1. Volume 1 was, of course, the beginning of all. It's, it's pretty important to have a recent first volume, of course. It's pretty decent, of course. The animation it's not top notch, but we can. That series was made in 2014, so animation is not something I'll take in consideration. But yeah, we got a nice first look at our characters, at Team Juniper and at Team RWBY, of course. And we also had Team Cardinal at that time. I believe they probably died at the Fall Beacon, but oh well. I thought this was a fine introduction. It had its moments, of course. It had kind of this weird thing of some episodes being only 4 minutes long, and then you had another one which was 12 minutes. Then, but that's all fine. It was only the first volume. You had some cool moments here and there, and to be honest, I think it was a fine start. So I'll go in poggies. Very well done. Very well done. Alright, next up, Volume 2. Volume 2 was, of course, also a pretty good one. Yeah, who would have thought. It had some cool moments, of course. It had the dance prom. It had some fighting with Torchwick and the mechs and stuff. But the third act of the volume, where they went on a mission with Dr. Oobleck, I thought that was very fun in my opinion. So yeah, overall they executed it pretty well. We got to meet some more characters. We got to meet Sun and his team, which I thought were pretty cool. We got to meet Team Coffee. As well as our bad guys, of course, Mercury and Cinder and stuff. I don't like them, but that's just me, and it's too bad that Cinder didn't die. But overall, Volume 2 was also pretty poggies, not gonna lie. RWBY Volume 3, oh my oh my. This is one I know many of you like. And to be honest, I think it's pretty good. You had the whole Vital Festival thingy, you had the Amity Coliseum and stuff. And of course, in Volume 3, this is also where we got our first look at, in my opinion, one of the greatest characters RWBY has to offer. Uncle Crow. I have to say, the fight with Winter and Uncle Crow was also very amazing. I thought that was pretty good. Furthermore, this volume also explored Winter's and Weiss relationship, which I thought was pretty cool as well. And of course, you had the whole PvP fighting tournament thingy, which was also pretty good. But of course, Volume 3 is, kind of depressing, as legitimately the whole kingdom just falls apart. The ending was kind of cringe, of course, and also heartbreaking to see that Ozpin died. My man deserved better. They let Ozpin die to probably the cringiest villain ever. Legitimately, Mercury. He's a jerk, but he's better than Cinder. That's a hot take, but you know what? Apart from the whole depressing stuff, it was actually pretty poggy. It's not goated. I know a lot of people expected me to put it in goated, but because it's kind of depressing, I thought, poggies will do fine. Volume 4. I would say Volume 4 was another banger. It's kind of controversial. A lot of people think it was very slow paced and boring. Probably because all of the characters split off and went on their own adventure and stuff. But I thought that was pretty cool. Yes, it wasn't the fastest, sure. But it wasn't bad, because it introduced a lot of new context around the characters. We got to meet Weiss's family, we got to meet Blake and Sun, and to be honest, the Black Sun story, with Menagerie and stuff, I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really cool to see Blake and Sun work together. Blake's family is also very cool. I like the father and the mom. I think they're cool characters. Furthermore, one of my favorite scenes is actually where the professors hang out with Tai, and Yang just comes and checks around in and stuff, and they talk about the past and seeing Crow wearing a skirt. I think we can all agree that is something we want to see. Furthermore, it had some cool fights in it as well. The final fight against that horse Grim was terrifying to see, but it was pretty good. And the Crow versus what was that Scorpion guy called again? Tyrion, yes, of course, how could I forget his name? But that was also a pretty good fight in my opinion. But yeah, it was a bit slow paced, I will admit, but it did have some very cool scenes. That's why we go in pretty stonks. Volume 5. Volume 5 is also a very controversial one. It has very cool things, but it also has some things I do not like. At the start we meet Professor Lionheart. He is loyal to Salem, which I thought was pretty cringe, because, you know, he looked like a cool dude, but, you know, he kinda wasn't. As well, this volume expanded Blake's and Sun's story, which I thought was pretty good. It also concluded that in the final episodes, which I thought was a cool finale, the brawl at Haven. I know a lot of people think it's cringe, but I thought it was a decent final act. As well, of course, in this volume we get the characters get together once again. It's too bad though, because that, you know, kind of resulted in Raven just being thrown out the window. The writers did not know how to handle Raven very well. She's now painted as an antagonist, but she is a loving mom. I know she loves Yang, and it's kind of sad to see how they kind of just turned Raven into another character. I thought, you know, that was kind of sad, but that might as well just be me. Of course, Ozpin also got back in the game, or was that in Volume 4? I cannot remember. Anywho, another cool character introduced was Hazel. I like him, he's a big, bulky, strong guy. Probably the only one who likes him. But overall, I would say RWBY Volume 5, with the ending, is also pretty stonks. Alright, RWBY Volume 6. Now this one was an absolute banger. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. We thought it was gonna be amazing. And they released the third act with Adam and the Cordovan mech, and everything just fell down to pieces. My god, the series fell harder than Beacon fell. But I do have to say the first two acts were amazing. Of course, we start out at Argus and they take the train to Atlas. And of course, they all just die because of the Grim. Then after the train crash, we are introduced to arguably the most lore RWBY has ever seen about Salem's and Ozpin's past. I thought that was pretty well done. Of course, after that they go to Brunswick Farms and we meet the Apathy. Now these kind of Grim are very fascinating. To be honest, it was so cool because Volume 6 did something new with basically everything. New emotions to the characters, new Grim, new situation. Basically, it was so amazing to see Brunswick Farms. That was such a cool arc. In this volume we also get to meet, of course, Maria, the Grim Reaper. I think she's a pretty cool character, and I love the mentor relationship she has with RWBY. Finally some expansion going on. Of course, the third act is where it all falls to pieces. Just, you know, like, I'm not even mad about the Cordovan mech fight. That's something I can get behind, but look how they massacred my boy. What did they do to Adam, man? He just came out of thin air and decided, you know what, I'm gonna kill Blake. I mean, he might have a grudge against her, but come on, man. Where's the build-up? He just appeared out of thin air and decided to kill her. And, you know, he got himself killed. So apart from the end, I thought the first two acts were incredibly good. And should I put it in goated? It will piss a lot of people off, but I'll put it in goated. Volume 7. Now, of course, Volume 7. Volume 7, the first half was also pretty good. I love the fact that, you know, after, you know, the whole chaos had settled with the stolen ship, you know, the Ace Ops get introduced and they go on, like, missions together. I thought that was pretty good for once. You know, not really that depressing. We get to meet more new characters, such as, you know, the father of Wise is back in the game, as well as Ironwood, who's back in the game. He will become a pain in the ass later. But yeah, you know, it kind of like sets the scene for Volume 8, where everything just falls apart. But, you know, I think, like, it was good. It wasn't anything amazing though, so I'll just put it in good. Nothing too crazy. Volume 8. Volume 8 was quite something in my opinion. It was better than Volume 7, but it was also very depressing, of course, because Atlas literally fell. RWBY also died in the final episode, along with the whole team. Also kinda sad, and Jean, but yeah, Jean's just Jean. Amity, of course, they launched Amity Coliseum. We got to meet the father of Penny, which I thought was a cool character as well. We get to see the biggest NPCs, the Ace Ops turn into bad guys alongside Winter. And a very sad scene in my opinion was the sacrifice of Hazel. I thought that scene was pretty good, but also kinda sad. My man didn't deserve to die. For the rest, I think the Grimhound thingy with the silver-eyed human was also incredibly scary, but cool to see. Good to see Family Sneed actually being useful for once. And the whole thing with Crow and Robin was also something, I suppose. But yeah, RWBY Volume 8, it's pretty good. I'll put it in pretty stonks. And lastly, RWBY Volume 9. They're in the Ever After or something, and some magical fairy tale nonsense. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a kind of short volume though, only 10 episodes. But it was still pretty good regardless. They finally decided to do some character development. And with character development, they just mean getting Ruby slapped in the face by Aspen with a stick. I have no clue how that improves character development, but oh well, it was something. It was a terrifying scene with Neo her illusions, but still good, I suppose. I mean, the whole they live in a fairy tale, nothing makes sense. It was kinda a wacky volume, but I thought it was still pretty good regardless. Yeah, it's good to see that this volume really focused on Team RWBY, and Sean was also kinda just there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And the whole backstory with Alex and stuff. Volume 9 also introduced probably one of the most controversial things ever in RWBY, which is, Bumblebee. I have to say, it's kind of an awkward thing to talk about. I have to say I'm not really a big fan of it. I prefer Black Sun, but that's just my opinion, And my opinion, as seen from this tier list, is very different from what most of the people think. Too bad we didn't really get to see anything of what was happening in the real world, In the end, of course, you see that they make it back to Vacuo, but we don't really know what happened in the meantime that they were dead. So that is kind of something I would have liked to see, but I'm probably the only one who would like to see that. But RWBY Volume 9, I have to say it was pretty boogies, of course. It's, some people might put it in pretty stonks because the volume has its weak points in other parts, but I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, pretty boogies. Now of course we kind of missed Ice Queendom and Chibi and stuff, but that's just fun. For those Ice Queendom was pretty cool. I thought it was a cool remake of Volume 1. But yeah, now that we're talking about random stuff, I wanna point something out which I found online, which is RWBY Evermorrow. It's kind of just a fan series created by a random guy online. I stumbled across it, and usually I'm not a fan of these, but I think this is actually pretty good. So yeah, credit where credit is due. If you want to see what happened if the time traveler traveled to the past and moved a rock in the RWBY universe, go watch RWBY Evermorrow. I think it's a neat little series. Yeah, I swear, I don't say that often, but I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, keep on the good work, the producers of RWBY Evermorrow. Look forward to see more stuff. And that's gonna be it for this tier list. Did anyone agree with me? Probably not. In fact, I can already hear banging outside my front door because people are going to kill me. Anywho, if you enjoyed regardless, feel free to subscribe, like and share this video. And hopefully I'll be seeing you all in the next one. If I'm still alive by that point.